Hello, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that won't stop believing in jazz! Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at The Godfather, A New Dawn from IDW Games. In The Godfather, A New Dawn from IDW Games, a game which is perfect for church groups, family gatherings, and Marlon Brando impersonation parties, 2 to 6 players are going to take on the roles of various crime families in New York from the book and the film The Godfather. You've got the Corleones, you've got the Barzinis, you've got the Tattaglias, and many, many more. Now, players start the game with 5 of their colored dice and a number of the meeples, depending on how many people are playing the game, of their own color as well. Now, the game board itself is divided into different districts of New York, and they're kind of divided by dice. You've got your 2 sections, you've got your 1 sections, your 6 sections, your 5 sections. I probably just should have done that in order. But anyway, you've got different districts, different little, I guess, boroughs or what have you, that have different dice symbols in that number. One maybe takes 2 threes, one maybe takes 3 threes. There's also straights. There's like, you can have 3 in a row, but one of them has to be a 3. So you can do all sorts of, you can find all sorts of these kinds of sections all over the board. Now, each round will play out fairly the same. One of you, of course, takes on the role of the Godfather at the beginning of the game, and that's going to switch throughout the course of the game. Now, essentially, on your first turn, you ignore the first step, which is Vegas, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But what you do is, on the first turn, the first thing you do is you all roll your dice behind your player screen so no one knows what you are rolling. But here's the thing. If you are not the Godfather, you must then offer the Godfather one of your a favor from your dice. So what you do is you take one of your dice and you put it out there. Whatever number you rolled, you go and you put it out there. Now, the Godfather is going to go from his left and around the table, and he's going to either accept that dice, in which case he just takes it, or he's going to say, no, I don't want that, give me another number. Now, if that player has that other number, he has to surrender it. If he doesn't have it, he lifts up his screen to show he doesn't have it, and then he gets his die back. He doesn't lose any die that round. Once the Godfather has gone around and accepted all of the favors, you can go ahead, you can re-roll dice, and then what you're going to do is take the dice that you have, and you're going to place them on those different districts. In turn order, essentially, you're going to say, okay, I've got, 2 2s. I'm going to put them in the 2 area, and I've got 3 5s. I'm going to put that in the 3 5 area. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to place those all over the board and claim those areas by placing your meeples there. Now, here's the thing. If you are one of the people that gave the Godfather a favor, you also get to place one of your meeples in one of these special sections that, again, give you favors. They let you kind of manipulate the dice, maybe move up or down, or let you re-roll dice, or let you do other fun and interesting things. Now, here's the thing. If you are not the Godfather, you don't just have to use your dice to claim the neighborhoods. You can do a few other things. For instance, you can, as I say, go to Vegas. Now, all you do with Vegas is you take a number of dice that you have, and for every dice you spend, you get to essentially place a meeple in Vegas on that dice number. There's the list of dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice faces. You place your meeple next to it. Now, later, that may pay off for you. But you can spend any number of dice to place your dice in Vegas. You don't have to correspond the number you rolled with the number you're taking. You can just take whatever you want. Also, you can put your dice on the muscle track. Now, what the muscle track does is essentially you can add the sum total of all the dice you're putting together, that's face showing, and you can move yourself up on this track. Now, why this track is important is because who's ever the highest on that track is going to become the new Godfather, the next Godfather on the next round. Now, as we see, you're getting more dice as the Godfather, so it's a very important role to have. So you don't want to ignore the muscle track. But critically, too, if you, say, roll a number of dice, and say you've rolled 3 5s, but somebody else is already on the 3 5 spot, if you're higher on the muscle track, you can essentially kick him out and put your guy there, but only if you're higher on the muscle track. At the end of the round, you're going to slide all the meeples down to A, B, C, or D, but the Godfather, he gets to go on 3. He is the new Godfather for the round, whoever was highest on the muscle track. That is the end of the round. The next round begins, and when the next round begins, you start with the Vegas section. Now, what you do is you roll these 3 big Vegas die, and whatever faces they come up at, if there's people there on those face-ups on the board, they get those extra die to roll during their turn. The game ends in one of 2 ways. If all of the neighborhoods of one district are taken up, that triggers the end of the game. You got one more round, you're over. Or if a player has essentially got all of his meeples on the board, he doesn't have any meeples, the game is over, you got that round, and then you are done. Then you advance to scoring. Now what you're going to do with scoring is you're going to look at all the neighborhoods that you have taken, and they have different numbers. They have a first number, second number, and a third number. First is usually highest, and etc., etc. So what you're going to do then is, if you are the highest, you get that first number. If you're the second highest, you get the second number. Third highest, you get the third number. If you're fourth, you get nothing. If there's ties, you divide the numbers between you, rounding down. But essentially, that's what you're doing. You're trying to get the best score, and whoever has the highest score at the end of the scoring session wins The Godfather: A New Dawn. So first of all, I got to tell you, years ago, I went over to my friend's house, and he says, "Hey, you want to watch a movie?" I said, "Yeah, sure, put something on." And he said, "Well, watch The Godfather." Now, The Godfather is one of those films I always saw bits and pieces of, and I always thought about, but I'd never seen all the way through, and I thought, yeah, okay, put it on, we'll see how it goes. And I fell in love with it. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant film. It's just got so much character and cinematography and writing, and I really enjoyed it. Years later, I read the book, and the book's good. There's a lot more stuff going on in the book than in the film. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is I really, really enjoy the IP here. I really like the Godfather films. Now, why that's important and why that translates to the game is because the game itself really, there's not a lot of theme here. The idea of muscling people out of territories is somewhat thematic, but other than that, there really isn't a lot of theme. You don't have any kind of asymmetrical powers or anything like that going on. So whatever player you are, if you're the Corleones, you don't get this. There's just not a lot you get there for being that. So theme is pretty light. Know that going into this. If you're looking for a Godfather game, it doesn't scream Godfather to me. It's fine. It's nice. Box looks good, but what have you. Now I do have I've got a criticism of this game, and that is the board itself, the different districts. The colors aren't, I guess, distinct enough to really make it easy to see. I was playing with one fellow who, kind of has, the little bit of the color blindness, and he was having a hard time making those distinctions and seeing exactly where one end and another one begin. Now, you know with the numbers, obviously, but just you want a quick visual cue, and you don't really have it with this game. That was a little disappointing. Now, having said all of that, I love theme, and where this is light on theme, I'm kind of, and I like good distinction and good quick reference, just eyeballing the board. Having said all that, I have to tell you, I had a lot of fun with The Godfather: A New Dawn. I thought it was great. And to me, one of the great advantages of the game is it's not long. This game plays an hour tops. Less than that when you know what you're doing, when everybody knows what they're doing. And because it's such a quick game, and yet it's intense, you're really battling for those territories. You're really eyeballing that muscle track, thinking, okay, is he going to get ahead of me? Is that what he's going to do? Because if he's going to do that, I can't go here, and I can't do that. But if I can do that, I can get ahead here. And so you're doing all these calculations in your mind. There's a strategy here. Now, there's a lot of luck because there's dice rolling. But there's some strategy in how you implement that dice rolling and how you use your dice rolls. And I like that a lot. And again, it's not long. Because it's not long and because you've got that intensity to it, and it gets ugly toward the end. You're going to lose some friends here when you muscle them out of territories. It's just a lot of fun. This was a hit with my group. We all really enjoyed it. The recommendation for the discriminating gamer is for The Godfather: A New Dawn from IDW Games. Go ahead and buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And hey, remember this? Look how they massacred my boy.
Somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
All right, Mike, you got a 6? I'll take a 6.
Seriously?
Yeah, sure.
You make him give you a 5. You see my 5 sitting here, and you come over here and you just make me feel worse for having given you
I got all
a 6. Is that it?
That's it.
Fine.
Okay, good.
Fine.
Okay, good.